What's up, everybody? Welcome into the CBS Sports college basketball page. I'm your host, Adam Finkelstein, and we have yet another exciting commitment, or should I say commitments, for you today on the channel. As always, bringing you some of the very best prospects in all of high school basketball to announce their live college commitments right here on the channel. And today it is the top set of twins in the national class. I am talking about Gavin and Gallagher Placide. They are a dynamic duo, and they have been looking to take their talents to one of 6 finalists. But take a look at the profile first. Both 4-star prospects inside the top 80. Now, they're both currently listed as forwards, but they do play complementing games. We're going to get into that a little bit as we speak. But in the talent-rich state of Texas, you see they are both among the very best in that state. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. We're going to start with Gavin. As you can see, about a 6'9" forward. The thing to know about both of these twins is that they are exceptional defenders. Now, on the offensive end of the floor, what I really like about Gavin is his ability to pressure the rim. Out of that front court spot, you can see him get downhill. You can see how physical he attacks. He plays through contact. He goes through bodies, and he puts a lot of pressure on the rim. He's doing it as a driver here, but the other way he does that is rolling off of ball screens. He's also developed his ability to pass the ball. It makes him a very valuable rim pressure guy offensively. Now, conversely, Gallagher at 6'8", a little bit more perimeter oriented. He's got a little bit more dribble pass shoot to his game. You see the creativity. You see his ability to attack both sides off the dribble. He's made strides as a shooter as well. So the versatility at his size with that strong body and that evolving perimeter skill set really makes him a tough matchup problem. And again, he has that same defensive versatility with the body type, the mobility, and the willingness to make extra effort plays. I think this is arguably the best defensive tandem in the country, but that is enough for me. Let's take a look at some of their finalists. They are down to 6 schools, all of which have been in hot pursuit. It begins with Florida State, Kansas, LSU, and then we go to the next 3, Mississippi State, NC State, and Wake Forest. All of them hoping to get these twin brothers to make an immediate contribution. So without further ado, we are going to go out to Texas and get the twins live on the broadcast. All right, guys, welcome into the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. How are you doing?
All right, now, guys, usually when I start these shows, I try and get some perspective about what the recruiting process has been like. But you two have been connected throughout this process. So I want to ask you both individually now. And Gallagher, I'll start with you. What has it been like going through this process, but going through it with your brother?
I think it makes it a little bit easier because, you got someone that you've grown up with and you get a whole new perspective on, different situations. So it's kind of a humbling feeling to have someone with you through it all.
All right. And Gavin, what are your thoughts about being able to go through this entire process with your brother?
I think it helps it out a lot because, having someone right by your side who's going through the same thing, someone to talk to and just someone to go to when it gets stressful or when it's, everything's going good.
Yeah. Now, we saw the long list of finalists. I'm sure there was a variety of different pitches about how coaches would utilize you guys, how you would be able to play off one another in the various systems. But was there ever a point where you thought about hey, do we go to college together or don't we go to college together? Was that ever a discussion for you? And Gavin, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we brought it up a couple of times. At the end of the day, we want to do what's best for the both of us. And so we definitely considered it. But I think at the end of the day, going together was always the idea.
All right. Now, Gallagher, I'm going to start with you on this question because this is the point in everyone's announcement where I give them an opportunity to thank anyone they want to thank. And I will give both of you that chance. But Gallagher, we will start with you. Is there anyone in particular you want to recognize before we get to the announcement at hand?
Well, I mean, first, I got to thank God because, I'm blessed to be where I'm at. It's a blessing all throughout the way, throughout middle school, high school, and to be where I'm at. And, of course, I'd like to thank my parents, my mom and dad. They've been pushing me ever since, I've been a kid. And, even when I wanted to quit and it's been stressful, they've always been there by my side. So that would be my main 3.
All right, Gavin, anything to add to that?
Yeah, same for me. Start with God. Can't do anything without him. And then all my coaches that I've had throughout the years, my parents, of course, and the family that have backed me up since I was a kid. Can't show enough thanks to them.
All right, guys. Well, the moment is here. I'm not sure how you're going to announce this, but I'm just giving you the ball and letting you run with it. Where are you guys going to be playing your college basketball?
For our freshman season, we'll be committing to the University of Wake Forest.
Big news for Wake Forest fans. Huge commitments, not just one, but two immediate impact players. Gavin, we'll start with you on this one. What was it about Wake Forest that made them the right fit for you guys?
I mean, to start, obviously the style of play. I think me and my brother Gallagher just fit in perfectly. But off the court, something that I realized with them is the relationships they have with their players and the time they take to have like non-transactional relationships and like be there for their players every day. That really stood out to me because college is more than basketball, and your life is more than basketball too.
All right, well said. Gallagher, anything to add to that?
I would say it would be the relationship piece. There is a trust between us and the coaches that I really value for a college career. They're very transparent, very open, and I feel like they're people I can talk to all throughout the years because it's going to get tough. It's college, so I'm glad that I have people around me that I can trust.
All right, now, guys, typically at this point when we wrap up the interview, I ask each player to tell that fan base what they are going to be bringing when they arrive in town. In this case, I'm going to ask you to describe each other. So, Gavin, I will start with you. Tell Wake Forest fans what they are getting when Gallagher gets on campus.
I mean, I just say, you're getting a good defender. He takes pride on defense. That's where he likes to shine. And that's where he, makes his biggest impact.
All right. How about the other way around? Gallagher, what do you got on Gavin?
I'd say he's in advance 5-man, modern 5-man. He's big. He's about 6'10", but, he can do a lot more. He can dribble a little bit. He's got a little bit of feel. So it's more of the modern game that he's tied into.
All right, no doubt about that. I said before, and I'm going to stand by this, I think you guys might be the best defensive duo in the country. You're both multi-positional. You're both versatile. I think Wake Forest fans should be really excited about that. But speaking of excited, I know you got some celebrating to do down there, so we appreciate everybody at Faith Family Academy of Oak Cliff for doing this. We congratulate you on a great season and Pro 16 on that Puma circuit. And congratulations to Wake Forest fans. We're thrilled you decided to share this moment with us here at CBS Sports.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, the party has begun. For more on this huge commitment, we're going to bring in 24/7 Sports basketball director Eric Bossi to help me break this all down. All right, as Ebos comes into the show here, again, Ebos has been following these guys for years. He knows, as I said, they are highly versatile defenders. Ebos, you heard their description of each other. Gavin calling Gallagher a tremendous defender. I was surprised Gallagher called Gavin a modern-day 5-man. I don't know if, brother's going to be upset about that afterwards. But what would you tell Wake Forest they're getting when these guys arrive on campus?
Well, frankly, I think those guys did a pretty good job of describing each other's games. They're definitely going to be able to help on the defensive end right away. But I think what we've seen with them is first time I saw them, they were freshmen and they were big, mobile kids who showed some skill. But there's sometimes you just wondered, how much the effort, if they really realize just how good they are. But what we've seen, and it's happened rapidly, is these guys have really taken their effort, their commitment, and just their games to a new level. And they really form a duo that can play together at all times. Gavin's going to be stronger and around the rim and can finish lobs and can switch defensively. Gallagher can play as a big 4 or, a big 3 or a skilled 4-man and kind of stretch things out. And what's so exciting about these guys is they're just scratching the surface of a lot of potential. We don't see guys who can move like that with that type of size too often at the high school level. And they should be ready physically for the ACC, which I think is huge for Steve Forbes as he looks for ways to try and implement these guys.
And, one of the things that we heard them talk about was the style of play. And to me, most kids, when they're talking about style of play, they're thinking offense. Wake Forest is now playing a 5-out offensive system. So they're doing different things in recent years. But where they've made a ton of progress lately, especially if you look at their metrics in the last 3 seasons, Wake Forest is one of the most improved defensive teams in the country. They were middle of the pack for a D1 team 3 years ago. Last year, they finished in the top 40. And Ebos, that's what I want to ask you about. I mean, I said this could be one of the best defensive tandems in the senior class. Where are you on how impactful they can be defensively, especially for a Wake Forest team that's a little atypical in that, like, they don't switch as much as a lot of modern teams do, but they love to trap. How do these guys fit into that type of system?
I think that mobility that they have really allows them to fit into that because they can get out, they can extend pressure with their length and their size. They're going to be able to shrink the court and really make those traps more effective. And then also they can, if they do have to do some switching, if one of those guys gets caught in a ball screen, he can switch, he can wait for his help to get there, and then he can recover back to his original man. So they've just got a lot of versatility. And I just think versatility, athletic ability, all those things are one thing, and it's good to have those. But what you can't teach is instincts. And I think their instincts and their just natural basketball IQ and feel on the defensive end is well above average. And we're starting to see that on the offensive too. We're starting to see that feel and just natural instinct for the game really come out. And it's really exciting about where they could be a couple of years from now.
And one more point on overall roster construction next year for Wake Forest. They're in a position where they might be able to return 3 players along the front line. Obviously, in this day and age of college basketball, you really can't plan on anything. But it's very clear that the expectation is that both brothers will come in and play immediate minutes right away next season. Gavin potentially splitting time at the 4 and 5, Gallagher potentially at the 3 and 4. Maybe with the defensive versatility, we've talked about that, how they can fit into that trapping system, as well as in the 5-out offense. We're going to have much more on this. You can head on over to 247sports.com. Our own Brandon Jenkins has a big commitment story. You can find further analysis for me. And while you are there, you want to use the promo code COMMIT65. That gets you 65% off annual VIP memberships, keeps you up to date all season long on the recruiting, transfer portal, and everything roster construction in college basketball and football.